I just want to say something right out the gate before I do anything else, okay? Because a lot of people have been whining about my written review as it stands. Let me make sure we understand what I'm saying when I say this. I did not just go to the convention specifically to go to the convention, blah, blah, blah. I want to say something. What does this badge say specifically on its sides? It says volunteer, right? It says panelist, right? Let me explain something to everybody and make sure you understand this. For those of you who are whining about the fact that I made a review, unless you have one of these, why? Quit freaking complaining and do something, okay? The worst thing you can do in life, and this is a bit of a story here, is whine about something and not do anything about it. Nobody gives a damn how snowflakey you are. I'm going to just say it how it is. If you want to shut me up, there's your answer. And I also want to add in something. I don't do the guest thing yet, mainly because I don't want to be partial to the convention. I want to be as and completely away from actually talking about the convention on the side as I can. Volunteering does not necessarily mean I like the convention. It means I like certain other things, such as the people who go to it. That is why I volunteer. If you want to whine about it, do that instead of complain about how I review things. So now that we're out of that aspect, hello everyone. I'm Plasma Warriors. You like to call me that guy the Afro. So, the Clip Notes version of what I said in 2018 are pretty damn simple. I've made it very clear about this being an important year for Delta HCon. Let me give you the short version of it. If it succeeds, it's going to be a long-term convention that everyone can go to and everyone's happy. If it fails, you might as well go ahead and say it that this convention will never be relevant and Anime Matsuri destroys yet another con. So, how did Delta HCon do? Did it become successful? Did it destroy every possibility of a good convention in Houston ever? Well, so I got to be honest with you, and this is something that I've been doing for, I don't know, nearly 14 years. That it's interesting how Houston generally gets good musical guests at their conventions from Japan. Kaza is a very nicely well mannered rock band from Japan, and I really like their music. I really like their style. Their lead singer is somewhat affluent in English. So, this is a group of people who are trying their hardest to put themselves out there. And that's the kind of thing I like. I mean, I know this is not cheap. Let me make it clear. Some people who are watching this, conventions do not pay for themselves. But to have this kind of thing come out there and enjoyable to everybody, bravo. Of course, the main point of all this was Neon Genesis Evangelion. Okay, yeah, it's kind of a running gag between me and Tiffany Grant. We just see each other so many times at a convention. Like, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I get that. But I barely see Spike Spencer in Texas ever. And that alone was a good push up. Even then, they got cast members from the redub, the Netflix recasting with Casey Monagold and Ryan Braitley. I mean, this I'm going to be honest with you. Anime has a problem with new voice talent, and they finally got people to draw into that new voice talent. I really think this is a very big positive. You can talk about how you like the dub or not of Evangelion on your own. I think it was an important addition. However, good people like AD Cruz, who's a steampunk cosplayer, I actually get to talk to these people. I actually get to hear what their experiences are like. And another person, I don't do Twitch streaming very much, but Skull Stream, a Dead by Daylight streamer, I believe, actually is very personal. He's very much a Twitch personality you can actually relate to. And for that reason, I like these people that they brought in that regard. However, I've got a problem. Guests can be somewhat of a double edged sword. Despite what I personally feel, it doesn't really matter. Amanda Winley, who did Ray in the original Evangelion, also decided to do a panel about marijuana usage in general. Now, let me explain something. If this were Colorado, California, it probably wouldn't be a big freaking deal. But unfortunately, this is the state of Texas, where marijuana usage is illegal. Some people said cannabis is 100% legal, but I haven't seen nothing in the past 15 years to change that. Maybe it is for some regards, but it's very hard for people to grab hold of. And I'm sorry, the how great was cannabis to me is not a panel that I personally prefer to see. Sorry. But this idea of hero worshiping people needs to die after yet again. How many times do I have to talk about scarfing scarves on this channel and their idea that even though, yes, they're Lolita fashionistas, that the words all lives matter is race. Can YouTube stop censoring words that I need to actually say? No, no. I'm going to say it out right now. All lives matter is the point of cosplaying. Sure, they're bashing Trump supporters is okay-ish. I'm not that big of a person who's getting that much offended by it later on. But ladies and gentlemen, I'll get to this point a little bit later in another video, but All Lives Matter is legitimately how cosplay is. Cosplay, in general, is the most inclusive point of all conventions. You don't have to be anything other than the character you want to cosplay in for about 5 minutes. Nobody complained in San Antonio when Aquaman did it for children's charities. So why here? And he was Hispanic. I don't care. This idea that all lives matter is a cis term damages Lolita cosplaying. That whole video, by the way, that I linked. Oh God, I can't. I'm not going to. Not going to give them the benefit of it all. It was one of the worst videos I've ever seen on YouTube, period. And that is saying something when I put Logan Paul as one of the worst people of 2018. In fact, #1 dumbest. Look, fanboying and fangirling are fine. And the whole Kickfix saga has already destroyed a lot of the goodwill of anime conventions. I'm sorry, but giving people a free pass like Monica Real is not going to help here. You need to call them out for their bull. I'm just going to say it how it is. Stop letting these people who are so idolized get away with whatever they want to and not call them out on it. I do it all the time. I'm getting done to it to me. And you know what? Sometimes you have to have some thick skin. True, but at a convention, if you're trying to bring down people just to prop yourself up, it's going to look bad on you no matter what. So back to the positive thing. I said it before, and I will applaud the convention for one thing. I actually got straight up told by the person who runs the gaming group, yes, I can confirm this. They were the ones who initiated contact with Paizo and said, hey, can you do this for us? That's how they got Linda Zaris Parmo and Mark Schiffer, who were writers on Pathfinder books. And yes, that's why they got them in there. And the Pathfinder Society actually had games played. I had a giveaway, as you know. Somebody won it, by the way. By the way, yes, I got signatures. I couldn't really have the picture here, but I will go ahead and provide it as soon as possible on another video, which I'm going to have to make very shortly, of many guests. And they won it fair and square. They did what I told them to do. And okay, they finally got people to actually play it. And I have to applaud them for actually putting themselves out there. They finally got a Switch, which they did a Smash Ultimate Tournament. Bravo. But again, they have a lot of good old school stuff. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was there. Super Mario World. I was somewhat pleasantly surprised that the gaming was better than advertised. Of course, they still had Dragon's Lair, and Dragon's Lair is top notch, #1, no matter what you say, anywhere in terms of both comics and gaming in San Antonio. But they're way better as a gaming group. Credit where it's due, though. They could do better in Houston, but at least they actually did improve things. Okay, forget a moment that I was talking about the whole cannabis because panel. I'm looking at the programming and I actually take a look and see about the details. And I know this is supposed to be a family friendly event, but there's so much time that you could use. And there weren't too many 18 and up panels that actually made sense for a convention. Let me make it very clear. Yes, Hentai Fandub was ring run. Bravo. Yes, I was surprised. This is actually good stuff to know. But Marsha Cosplays did a panel about lewd photography and cosplaying. It was good information. It wasn't a TNA show. It was actually people trying to put out information on how you should do different types of cosplay poses. And sure enough, I actually thought that was a good thing. Those were some of the best panels, by the way, of the convention where people actually taught you how to run these things. Even then, I'm gonna have to say it. Why the heckity hell was cosplay chess at 3 in the afternoon? I mean, I get you have many guests, you have many people trying to go up and down this, but that is more of a Saturday morning, early afternoon thing before the cosplay contest. Hardly anyone would show up at 3 in the afternoon for cosplay chess. I'm sorry, I get it. The convention had some timing issues because of a lot of different things. I know it's during the school year, but this was at 3 in the freaking afternoon on Friday. Why wasn't it say at noon Saturday? Nobody knows. But look, I'm just trying to figure out something here. Why the hell are they just bringing out guests who are strictly out of town voice actors and strictly out of town bands? Do not get me wrong about this. I understand you have to bring in people with some national clout. I'm not criticizing them for that. My problem is, where are the local people in this group? Where are the local artists? I'm trying to figure this out right now. Why isn't Geeks 5 ever a guest on every single convention in Houston? Don't give me that, well, they're party people and they're so freaking what? They're not bad party people. They're not bad alcoholic people. Yes, that goes on at every convention. Don't kid yourselves. If they were at Dragon Con, they would be a hit beyond all recognition. I'm saying that firsthand. Sometimes there are bad drunks, and I grasp that, but they're also good party people, and Geeks 5 ever is. I get that you had so many people like Meredith who are cosplayers, but why the heck did you not bring in somebody who can do OC cosplay like Jesse Persico? Yes, I know they run Geeks 5 ever. That is not the point. The point is you have so much talent in Houston, you're wasting it. I'll give you an example. A prominent voice actor once said when he first started going to anime conventions, not naming a name, that there's production of artwork, their cosplay construction, their writing ability was on par with anyone else they've seen in a stage play. And I thought immediately when he said that, hire them. What are you waiting on? Get those people into a gosh, I lost my thought of what the word a no I'll remember it later. Um get those people resumes. Get those resumes. Get those people to come into a audition. Yeah, there we go. Get them into an audition. Get them to actually do something for you to show off their talents. This is not a point that you can just run off and say they're not good. They're amazing. Okay? These people are awesome. Why not do something about it? Note of the convention is Tropical Storm Imelda. I hope I'm saying that name right. Hit the Houston area east of there, particularly in Beaumont and Winnie, pretty hard on Thursday. There was massive flooding east of Houston. And yes, Houston got pretty decently hit. Some of the freeways were closed for a while, but there wasn't a massive flooding event there as much as it could have been. I remember people were complaining about Hurricane Harvey, and yeah, Harvey was a big drain. So even though there were some delays, and panels and guests as a whole, it didn't really massively affect the convention. It didn't hurt it so much. It might have helped it a little bit because everyone was going to have to run a few hours later than normal, but it wasn't so big that it was going to impact the convention as a whole. Yeah, it was hard to get around. Yeah, some flights were delayed, sure enough, but even then, I talked to White Lightning Productions, a well-known fandom T-shirt maker who lives, I believe, in the Linden area, northwest of Houston, northeast of Houston. And he said, yeah, it rained. It got a little tough, but I was too far north away from where the storm really was. That really didn't hurt me so much. So, yes, it did affect people, but it really didn't affect the convention as a whole. It didn't affect people really going up and down it. So I thought that was just kind of a additional thing that happened. Not really a big deal, not really a small deal, but a note nevertheless at the convention. Yes, I know my review has been pretty negative, but you see, this is the problem I have. Even though I love the convention as a whole, even though it brought in the EvaCast and improved gaming, not a lot of things were just memorable. I mean, not everything was negative. Not everything was, oh, the con was bad, don't go. But after 12 years, I do expect more of this. Yes, I know it's a smaller convention. Yes, I know people have to literally beg to get people to help out. I understand that. But that's been an excuse for the last maybe 7 years of this convention. I can't keep waiting on them to try to improve. In fact, the convention cannot wait for them to get bigger. I'm about to throw away just about everything I just said and focus on 2020. Because this is the come to Jesus moment in a way. What's the year dates for 2020? What dates do they have? It's going to be July 17th through 19th. Now, that is a traditional point for them to have it in July where people are out of school and out of work. But what's going to happen that year? Particularly a week beforehand. The malignant cancer and destruction and pain and agony that unfortunately everyone in Houston has to deal with. Anime Matsuri. And this is the point where I'm going to stop being nice. I'm not going to kiss your butt anymore. I'm going to get right down to the point. As much as I like your convention, as much as I like your staff, I'm about to hit you with a haymaker. Get ready. I'm so sorry to the universe, but take a drink of whatever, because here comes my rant. You don't get the option of being small anymore. I do like small conventions. I do. I believe they can work. But at this point, there is no more Nice Guy Act. I'm not going to tell Sarah Sabariak that you're going to be able to have exactly what you want because you don't have that option anymore. The world's burning around you. You're holding your coffee and saying everything is fine. Okay, fine. That worked 12 years. Year 13? No, it won't work anymore. You can't go ahead and stay small. You have to go and compete with Anime Matsuri. And despite its toxic nature, it still pulls in people. I hate to say that, but it's true. There is no more time. This is legit the last chance you're going to have. And let me make it clear, I'm going to support Delta HCon. I do believe the staff can do what they need to do. They're very likable. I'm not saying they're toxic waste dumps like other conventions in Houston. I've seen those. Anime Matsuri, Comic Palooza to some extent. Yes, I'm saying it outright. Space City Comic Con. I've seen the conventions that have come and gone and tried to destroy the community. Delta HCon is not one of them. And let me make it very clear. I'm not saying they need to improve because of me. Oh, no. I'm not saying they need to improve because I didn't like the con. I did like the convention. I know I've been bad, but I'm also a fair, blunt person. I'm not saying they need to improve because someone else is running a convention that is weeks prior that has more to do with things. And no, I'm not saying they need to improve because they're small. I'm saying they need to improve because now they're in a fight. They're not going to get the luxury of small con and survive anymore. That will not happen. If you're going to tell me that you're going to be a small convention and you're going to keep fighting against Anime Matsuri a week after that, then I'm sorry. No, there's no more time. This is Anime Matsuri trying to get rid of you like they did other conventions, like Shizo Kazekon, like almost they tried to do with Onicon. It didn't work for them, but in general, at least it tried to do it. Anime Matsuri is going to try to attack you. And so far, from the 12 years that I've seen, I don't think you're going to be able to be big enough or powerful enough or positive enough to change the mentality of the Houston convention scene. And yes, I am talking about that after looking at my written review. I have not seen anything yet from the staff of Delta HCon that's going to tell me they can meet the challenge of changing the negative nature that is Houston area conventions. This is a challenge. This is not me complaining to you directly. This is me telling you it's time. Prove me wrong. Not because I said so. Not because you're a small con. Not because Anime Matsuri is breathing down your neck. But because Houston conventions generally need some positivity in a world of dark, toxic nature. For that sake, prove me wrong. And I will prove that I'm going to make an announcement here and now about Onicon 2019. That will be on Friday, November 8th through Sunday, November 10th in Galveston Island, Texas. This is the first time ever that my brother is going to go to a convention. He's already said, I'm going. Put me down whatever money you need me to do. I'm going to have it done within the next 3 weeks. Okay. So, at Onicon, you're not only getting Plasma Warrior, that guy with the afro, you're getting his older, sarcastic brother, MP Cowboy. Until then, later.